connection good? Yes. Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to our newspaper analysis. Today we shall analyze the Hindu dated November 27. Good afternoon all. I am sure all of you attended the morning session on quantitative aptitude and you enjoyed. At 3 o'clock again we will have another session. To your information, I would like to tell you that we have we are going to start our regular classroom program. We will have 2 batches on December 7 and December 14. Those who wish to join the course may register online at icdkollam.in. Regular classroom program. There you can see a register button. In that you may register your name by giving the details. We shall send you the admit card for that. Of course, the online program will continue with the same vigor. There is no doubt regarding that. Nobody should have any doubt in their mind whether we will discontinue the online program. That is not the case. We shall continue and we will continue with the same vigor. You can enjoy the online learning also, but this is a lot of people are asking, that is why we have started. Since the number of seats is very limited, those who wish to join may register as quickly as possible. So, let us begin today's news analysis, November 27. The Hindu dated November 27. The major news, the headlines of the Hindu were on 2 things. One is the Nivar cyclone crossing the eastern coast of India, doing havoc, damage in Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. And the next has been the farmers' strike. Farmers were trying to reach to Delhi for but the police stopped them in Haryana. So, let us read the news in detail. It is the cyclone Nivar. Yesterday we discussed that this is the 3rd cyclone in India in the year 2020. The other 2 were Amphan, which was more damaging, that struck West Bengal in May, and the other one Nisarg that struck Maharashtra in June, and Nivar is the 3rd one striking the eastern coast. Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry bore the brunt. Of course, it created made big damage to crops and 3 people lost their lives. So, Nivar striking Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry, that information is important. Police stop farmers march to Delhi, Haryana, UP borders. Listen, one of the major criticisms that the government faces presently is that this government does not listen to others. They take unilateral decision. I think volume of the video is too low to be heard, I do not know if it is my problem. Is that the case with others? Hello? Okay, many people say the volume is low. The volume is low, it is said. Any issue here? Let me check with my technical team. Any issue? In fact, there is connection is perfect here, but generally what I can see is that the volume that capture will input capture will touch almost this yellow here. Let me check, please. Please give me a minute. Hello. Audio input capture is a bit weak here, signal. We are checking, kindly wait. Hello, hello, hello. Kindly wait for a few seconds. Hello. Hello, hello. Is it audible now? Will you please respond, a few people? Is it audible now? But the input capture is not as prominent as it used to be. It's very close. Volume is very low. Is it audible now? Hello, hello. That is not the case. There is something wrong here. It's fine, somebody says, but not as usual. Okay. So anyway, we shall proceed. What do you say, John? So I am continuing. I am sorry if the volume level is not that good, but if you can manage, please continue. Let me continue, we need not waste time. The police stopped farmers march to Delhi at Haryana and UP borders. Farmers from Haryana and Punjab, especially Haryana and Punjab and UP, are moving towards Delhi to Delhi for a Delhi Chalo march. This was against the Union government's decision to change the farmers' laws. In fact, they have changed. They came with 3 new laws which farmers look at with suspicion. One was to their suspicion was that the APMCs, Agriculture Producers Marketing Corporation, APMCs will be stopped, or big people, big players, corporate entities will come so that their interests will be will not be honored. So that is their major doubt. And another doubt is that government will stop in due course the minimum support price. The minimum support price is the price at which agricultural commodities are bought from the farmers, or it is a minimum guarantee that the farmers get. What government's version is that it is the middlemen that destroy farmers' interests, and the new laws will take away middlemen forever, and farmers will get the best benefit. Government had given a promise to farmers that agricultural income, farmers' income will be doubled by 2022. That was the government's promise. But what farmers believe is that just the opposite would happen. That is why they protest. Anyway, government failed to listen to farmers, that is very clear. 1.5 months back, when farmers went to meet the Minister of Agriculture did not listen to them, in fact did not give time to meet them, rather they were allowed to meet only the Agricultural Secretary, who is just a bureaucrat. Farmers were disheartened, they did not continue the meeting, they did not attend the meeting. Once they understood that Agriculture Minister or the people in the government were not interested to meet them, they did not meet, they walked out of the meeting. And now of late the government has said that they are ready to meet the farmers. Farmers were brutally faced by the police in Haryana. Finally, government has to concede. If farmers protest in bulk numbers, government has to concede. So this is what I said, this government is not listening to people. That is one of the complaints that many have. So let us see what is going to happen eventually, whether the government will withdraw the laws or whether the government will convince farmers the benefit of the law. We have to wait and see. First wave of vaccination to cover 30 crore Indians. I used to continuously tell you that vaccination program in India is going to be very, very important. This will occupy in your question papers in many ways. It is said that the priority people will be given vaccination in the beginning, those who are above 50, those younger with underlying illnesses that make them vulnerable, all these people are given priority. Of course, health workers, police personnel, and those who are above 50, and young people with other vulnerabilities will be given priority too. And the entire vaccination program will take time till 2024, it is said. Of course, we have to vaccinate around 137 crore people. That is a very big challenge. Storm warnings, it is about Cyclone Nivar. We know that India's eastern part is prone to periodical storms and cyclones and typhoons. This year itself, as I told you, there were 3 cyclones. Cyclone Amphan that struck West Bengal, which was the most furious one this year, and then followed by Cyclone Nisarg that touched Maharashtra, and now Cyclone Nivar that has touched Tamil Nadu. We know that in early 2000s, 2010 or 2012, there was a huge cyclone in Orissa coast, which was perfectly managed by the government. We did not lose even a single life. That was a major success, thanks to technology, thanks to technological warning given by the meteorological department and the coordinated work by the government of the center and the state. We could save lives in Orissa at that time. So now we have got technology in place, and we have got we are more powerful now in terms of money and manpower, and of course in terms of trained personnel. So people can be given very proper and advanced warning. But what the newspaper suggests is that construction without proper planning makes everything difficult. So that is what is pointed out. We know during the Mumbai deluge many years back, hundreds of people died, and that in one single day it rained for 100 centimeters. That was a torrential rain, and that disrupted life in Mumbai for many days and many people lost their lives. But at the end of the day, when it was analyzed, the major reason cited was that the plastic, the excess of plastic that has been consumed resulted in the deluge, because water did not percolate down to earth, and the big thick layer of plastic on the topsoil, that was reason which did not allow water to percolate. Anyway, so we have to have very scientific urban development, otherwise we will not be able to control natural calamities of this kind and magnitude. Policing faith, this has reference to the Uttar Pradesh government's new ordinance. Of course, the ordinance does not use the word love jihad anywhere, but the intention is very bad. How can the state intervene in personal relations? It is impossible for the state to intervene in matters of personal relations and faith. That is a constitutional guarantee, that is against personal liberty. So, whether such an ordinance will stand the test of constitutionality is a different thing. We have to wait and see. Listen, UP will soon be followed by Haryana and Madhya Pradesh. Himachal Pradesh has already made a law of this kind. So, whether these things will be challenged in the court and whether it will lead to a constitutional battle is a different thing. Anyway, recently Allahabad court has said that court would not intervene in personal matters. So, whether the new ordinance will survive the test of constitutionality is something that everyone is looking forward to. A clear reading of Ayurveda surgery move. We know that the government of India recently allowed Ayurveda PG postgraduates to go for surgery, though of limited scope. This was strongly opposed to by the allopathy doctors and Indian Medical Association. But anyway, this has been something that Ayurveda practitioners have been looking forward to for a long time. This article, a beautiful article which says that, which supports the governmental move permitting Ayurveda doctors to practice surgeries. In 2014, while speaking at the inauguration of a hospital in Mumbai, Prime Minister Narendra Modi extolled the virtues of Indian medical heritage. How else? Okay, so he was, that is all mythology, but what he said was that he, the writer Sanjay Nagral, clearly supports the governmental decision to permit Ayurveda PG students to go for surgery, and just read the entire thing, you will get a good idea why the support comes and what are the concerns of allopathic doctors or the IMA. That also they have already given in the social media, in print, in electronic media and all. Soon good number of articles will get printed on the print media also. Read, we should know both the sides. Prime Minister pitches for one nation, one election. This was aired by Prime Minister a few years ago. Presently he now says that one nation, one election isn't just an issue of deliberation. It is not an issue of deliberation, rather it is a need of the country. You see, we have got the general elections at some point of time, state elections at different point of time, and then the local elections. We know that in Kerala local elections will be conducted in December. We know that in Jammu Kashmir local elections is taking place today. So what the Prime Minister says is that country is in an election mode all the time, which affects development. We know that during the model code of conduct, or when the model code of conduct is in application, government cannot announce any new program. So, either the general elections or the assembly elections or local elections, it would be taking place every time in India in one place or the other. Mind you, India is a very big country, so elections are taken place in some part or the other. That apart, in India there is no permanency for the assembly or the parliament. The government can hold to power only so long as it enjoys a majority of the people's house. So, if a government loses majority at the state, then immediately another election has to be conducted if the opposition party is not able to form a fresh government. So, the country is always in an election mode, which disturbs development, and of course, it is very costly too. So, that is what the Prime Minister wants to make it as a discussion, and what he says is that there must be one single election in India, or meaning one, and also one election list, voters list will be used. Now, there are different voters list for different elections, that also has to go. So, these are the measures suggested by the Prime Minister. 20 billion potential in renewables sector, this is something that we discussed even yesterday. India's renewable energy deployment plans for the coming decade are likely to generate business opportunities worth 20 billion, says the Prime Minister. Yesterday we discussed, I forgot the figures, our renewable energy plans for 2025 and 2030, all those things we discussed. So, this is a readable thing, but of course, we said that in next 5 years, I discussed that along with the government's plans to double refinery capacity in 5 years. In the next 5 years, we will improve our refinery capacity to 450 million tons, which I discussed. Along with that, I had told you that we have got a very big renewable energy plans also, that also, this figure also we discussed, I do not remember that. Recovery momentum is stronger than expected, says Reserve Bank of India Governor. So, he was talking to at the Foreign Exchange Dealers Association of India meeting. So, during the thanks to the pandemic, economy is in doldrums, economy is not performing well. Yesterday the government declared that we are in a recessive mode. Recession means there is, it is perpetuated by lower demand for goods and services. Theoretically or technically, recession means if there is negative growth for 2 continuous quarters, then it is called the economy is in theory or in technically in recession. But Reserve Bank of India Governor says that recovery momentum is stronger than expected. Everybody within the government thinking heavily on the GST recoveries in collections in September and October. During September, GST collections went up by 4% compared to the previous year, and in October it was 10.5% growth compared to the collections in October 2019, of course before the pandemic. So, government is relying heavily on those figures, but on the other side, industrialists and many industrialists and economists say that the present spurt is due to the pent up demand in the economy. Of course, people have been in closed doors for many a month, and now there is a pent up demand. That is what is getting reflected. So, that is not something to be that much reliable in the days to come. So, anyway, people within the government, including the Reserve Bank of India, are relying heavily on those GST figures, and here the Reserve Bank of India Governor says that we are better positioned than we had expected what for ourselves. GDP contracted by 10.7% in Q2. India's GDP likely contracted 10.7% in second quarter, with a further recovery likely in the third quarter. This is said by SBI Research. SBI has got a research department, economic research department. They too have come out with their own statistics. They said that during the first quarter economy contracted by 23.9%, and the second quarter it is 10.7%. They had earlier more severe contraction of 12.5%, but it contracted only by 10.7%. Okay, economy is doing better than the times when we were really closed down, but generally what is said is that it will take time. We have to wait and see. FC Kohli is very, very important. This is the pick of the question of the day. FC Kohli will definitely be in your question papers too. He is called the father of IT revolution in India. He was the CEO and founder of the biggest software company in India, Tata Consultancy Services. Very important. FC Kohli will definitely come for your examination. Big figure, read this article, get ideas. India, Australia to honor Dean Jones' memory. Dean Jones, Australian cricketer, passed away a few months back in heart attack in India while he was in India. So he will be remembered during the ongoing India-Australia series. So we are playing, it is our first series after the COVID times. We have to see how India performs. We are performing in all the three forms of the game, T20, one days and the test matches. So Dean Jones is remembered or will be remembered all through the series. The first celebration will come at Friday's opening one day international against India at SCG, Sydney Cricket Ground. So, and there will be a 1 minute silence before play. Anyway, Dean Jones will be remembered. He was a master class player of Australia and a big contributor to the game of cricket. Thank you very much. Of course, today was a less loaded session. Hopefully, we will have more questions loaded days coming up. Please read the newspapers very well. Spend time. Thank you. Goodbye. We shall meet again. We will have another session at 3 o'clock today. Goodbye.